City, which is also buzzer beater city, because we've had one tonight in the first game, won by San Diego State as time expired. And now who will play them next, Miami or UConn on Monday night? It's a 5 and a 4.
That time of year, everything was pretty automatic. Everyone knew their role. We had established all the winning habits. Everyone knew what to do at both ends of the court, on the backboard. So really just go out and play to our identity and get lost in the next play, get lost in making winning plays.
Beating a very well-talented Arkansas team with a bunch of lottery picks by like 20-something, and then beating Gonzaga by 30, I mean, that's unheard of. And to do that is something crazy special, and we knew that we were more than capable of winning it all after the Sweet 16 Elite 8 matches.
Okay, we've got some news here to report that involves UConn star player Hawkins. He's had a stomach flu this week. Trace, what's the latest?
That's right. Jordan Hawkins came down with a stomach bug on Thursday night. He did not practice on Friday. He was limited in shoot-around this morning. I was told he is good to go. He will start, but how effective he will be remains to be seen.
I wasn't sure that he would be available day of the game. He did not get through much of shoot-around. I would say he was at probably 50%.
Definitely. I remember we were in shoot-around. You know, Jared always used to be, like, he loved talking to me, shoot-around, like, you know, but I didn't see him do that. I'm like, bro, what is wrong with you? You know, and that's when I know, like, something like he's sick, you know.
He was a little sick, but I knew he was going to play. They were asking me about that before the game, and I was like, yeah, he's going to show up for us.
UConn, the higher seed in the home whites. At Miami, O'Meara trying to control it, but no, it's going to go to the Huskies to start. The Huskies, who have been blowing out all their opponents to get here, and they open up with an outside shot. Questionable just a day ago, and comes right out, rips the nets. First 6 to Connecticut on a pair of threes, one by Hawkins, one by Sunogo. He's going for another. Why not? Does it again. 2 for a dollar. Lost control of it. Out with it is Wong, and he got fouled by Jackson. The foul, that's significant to note, was on Andre Jackson, and he picks up his second just 4 minutes and change into the game.
Yeah, I think if Andre was a different type of player, maybe a little bit more passive, maybe not quite as aggressive, there would be a chance maybe to play him with 2 fouls. But the fact that we were, in the lead and it was multiple possessions and we hadn't faced a big run by Miami made the decision easier. But it's hard to put a guy like Action Jackson in with 2 fouls.
It was tough, but it gave me some opportunities to just sit there and watch my teammates, and they all picked up a lot of slack. Guys played super great, so it was actually good. We got out to a good lead.
Oh, there may be mountains or hills to climb, but it's now or never to win this fight. Yeah, I gotta win this fight. Gonna face some music before I lose it, and I gotta do this while I'm alive. Gonna face some music, it's time to prove it. I'm making history while I'm alive, 'cause now's my time. Oh, now's my time. Yeah, now's my time.
Back outside, Caravan. We got another one at the buzzer. That's his shot, that slot jumper.
When AK shot the ball, I remember knowing it was going in, just because he's had a couple halftime buzzer beaters this year, and it's normal for him to hit big shots like that because he's just such a knockdown shooter, and he works so hard for moments like that.
Looking back at it, the best part of that play was you see Jordan standing there with his arms up in the air and just celebrating right before. I was like, wow.
I was on the bench, and I jumped up, I ran, gave him a high five, and we all ran into the locker room with a lot of energy.
It's going to take take a full 40 to kill these guys. I mean, they've been in this position before, maybe not exactly in this position versus this type of team, but they've been able to come back, and when that happens to us, is it the defense slips?
We knew that they were crazy comebacks, but we knew that the teams they played weren't like us. So we knew going into it that they were capable of it, but they hadn't seen a team like us yet, so we weren't too concerned about it.
Really, our defensive efforts in the back-to-back games, the Gonzaga defense versus Miami, two of the top offenses in the country, to shut them down the way we did, the individual defense on the ball, which was something earlier in the year that was a problem. I couldn't have been prouder, because that's an effort thing, that's a culture thing, and that's a selfless thing, that's a we thing.
Ahead of my time, and that's a race against my past. Whenever they clock me, that's 2,000 on the dash. When it kinda tickles me, and every day I laugh. Yeah, you know we #1 and you don't need to ask. I got the magic, feel like I'm a greyhound looking at a rabbit. Finish line so close, I reach out and grab it. I only look back just to look at your reaction. Can't stop when we start, we get it done. Take no days off, we #1. Lace up these kicks, and we run like this.
Well, Miami, just no match for the Husky Express, heading to a Monday night championship appearance.
We knew we were going to be playing on Monday.
There wasn't much celebration in that locker room. I think we just turned it quickly and just were laser focused onto wanting to play in the national championship game already.
It's always one more. Every single game is always trying to get the next one. Trying not to, celebrate too much, because it's not over until it's done.
You underrate the pressure from winning the Final Four game to playing in a national championship game, really up until the anthem. It was literally the most nervous I've been for any one game. I told the media that it's the most peaceful I had been, maybe trying to convince myself of that, but just getting to that game and knowing that you have an opportunity to do something that not many coaches or teams will ever do. It's like, truly, like Coach Calhoun said, it's a forever thing, and you get a piece of immortality.
Well, the journey, it ends right here tonight. Nixon now is it to Bradley, who also is off to a hot start in the semifinal game. Butler, take it right up where we left off. This time a three.
And when you hit a game winner, that confidence is riding high.
He looks up, head fake on Caravan. Feeds the corner, and that's another three.
How about that, Trammell, huh?
It was similar to the Iona first half. There was never a feeling while that was going on that it was sustainable for them. You don't get rattled at that point. You stick to the game script, you follow your game plan, and you stick to your principles.
There's Hawkins. He pulls up and fires it just like he did Saturday. He hits his opening shot. Now Newton to Jackson.
Jackson always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
He's come off the floor with it. That ball hit a leg. And Sanogo lost a shoe, but he's got his third basket already.
Tough shot. Look at that lead, but he counters.
Wow.
What is a kiss? Vic Newton.
Calcaterra with 5 to shoot. Feeds it to Klingon.
This is where they are tough. 9 deep with talent.
Down the lane. Flips it up. Tap. No.
Look at the warmth of his
No. Now will expire.
UConn got what they wanted. Just couldn't convert their round.
I felt like we should have been up 20. Multiple guys missed layups, point blank, and then we had a couple live ball turnovers, but we were cooking on offense, and we probably should have had 45 points. We own second halves. Right? We've already body blowed these guys for 20 minutes, and we haven't even played close to our best. This is 20 minutes for the big trophy. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Man, leave it all out there. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
I just keep on believing I can shake every mountain, 'cause I knew there would be a day so like the crashing waves. This is the moment. This is the moment. Dreams don't sleep, or the moment got the heat, ain't waiting for gonna rise, 'cause this is the moment. I'm gonna rise, 'cause this is the moment.
It was honestly just a blur. I remember just running onto the court. I seen Drew spike the ball. It really felt like a dream, honestly.
It doesn't feel real when like the buzzer's getting close down to the game ending. Just finally having that buzzer sound was amazing.
The last second of the game, I'm like, I see everybody running to the court, and I'm like, wow, you know, and I run out to the court to grab a ball, you know, so I can keep that for myself.
I'm proud of all the guys because they all contributed. You know, they either contributed tangibly on the court with production, or they contributed to a great locker room. You know, guys like Richie and Apostolos and Yarn, you know, even though they didn't play much, they, you know, great locker room guys, and they helped us in practice. Samson, he was a guy that got back late in the year to help us in practice, and it was a great group with the three guys off the bench. Joey's personality and shot making, Naheem's defense, and you know, and double figure scoring off the bench was huge, and you know, Hassan's a junkyard dog. And then obviously Donovan Clingan, no one had a bigger impact off the bench than Donovan. Donovan, I'd imagine, was the best sixth man in college basketball. We had the big three coming into the year that we knew was going to deliver for us, in Jordan, Andre, and Adama, NBA level players that formed an incredible nucleus that we could build around, and Tristan. You know, a little bit of that kind of even keel really, you know, helped him in the biggest game of the year. You know, he had his best performance. Alex Caravan was one of the best freshmen in the country. I don't know that he ever got as much recognition as he deserved. You know, he's obviously a guy that we build around the next couple of years, and I think he's got a chance to win more championships and then, you know, go off to the NBA. Huge thanks to you guys, Husky Nation, the home crowds this year at XL and Gamble, incredible. The followings at the Garden and in Albany and out in Vegas and Houston, incredible scenes at the hotel, returning from great wins. Everything just kept getting bigger and better. We're already working on trying to get you that sixth one, but it's not easy to do. Enjoy getting number 5.